influence well beyond Ukraine. So a wider conflict in Europe cannot be ruled out. Are we doing enough to prepare for these uncertain times? No, not yet. And many of us have argued, in fact, we should be doing much, much more to bolster conventional forces, air, land and sea, but also to upgrade all of society, to improve all of our resilience, given the kinds of threats that we're about to face. You know, we've had it easy since the 1990s, I would say, since the end of the Cold War, but those days are over. And the character of conflict, this is the important piece, has changed considerably thanks to advances in technology. It's very simple to attack us from afar and cause huge economic harm and social disruption, clipping our undersea cables, for example, cyber attacks. We have a dated model of how to keep Britain safe, and it is going to be addressed in the government's forthcoming defence review. But we not only need to bolster conventional forces, as your question implies, and improve our stockpiles of weapons, but we need more AI specialists, drone operators, cyber analysts, marine experts to guard those undersea cables. This is an all-of-society approach. Everybody must be involved to bolster our readiness and resistance. Otherwise, I can predict our vulnerability will be exploited by our adversaries.
All right, let's bring Fiona into the conversation. Fiona, do you agree with that? Our army is at a level not seen since the Crimean War.
Sure. I mean, the facts are the facts. But we spoke about the world becoming more dangerous. It is becoming more dangerous. The biggest danger to young people and working class people in Britain is the current Labour government and all of the austerity that the previous Tory government implemented. And, you know, Tobias was talking about everyone getting involved to boost the British military. I think that's delusional. I don't think it's going to happen. First of all, when politicians talk about boosting the military, what they're talking about is boosting British imperialism's ability to exploit millions of people all over the world. That only benefits rich people. That doesn't benefit young people. That doesn't benefit working class people in Britain. So no one's going to sign up to do this. And
but Fiona, you're a member of the Communist Party, and the thing that characterises communist states is the amount of money they spend on the military to the detriment of the people of that country. So are you not a communist?
No, I am a communist. What you've described is wrong. But yeah, in this
Hang on, the USSR, 3 million troops in the 1950s, North Korea, 1.5 million troops, China, 2 million troops. These are communist countries.
If you want to have a discussion about the USSR and North Korea and all that, invite me on another time. We're here to discuss the fact that the British military is in a weak state. And you know why you can't get people to sign up for it? It's because young people don't believe any of the propaganda, because the British army, imperialism, that whole system has been exposed in the eyes of millions of young people. So no, they don't want to sign up to join into it because they don't buy into the idea that it does defend them, because who is actually attacking them and their living standards right now? It's Keir Starmer, it's austerity. You know, I saw a poll that showed 20 years ago, 41% of Gen Z were proud of Britain. Sorry, 80% of Gen Z 20 years ago were proud to be British, were proud of Britain. Whereas today, that has dropped to 41%. What has happened in 20 years? The Iraq War, Afghanistan, Tory austerity, and now a Labour government. No wonder young people don't buy into any of this nonsense. And it's because of people like Tobias. And now you come on TV and say, we need everyone to get behind the British army.
Let's bring Tobias in here. Tobias, even if we were to massively increase spending on conventional defence spending, a bigger army, would young people enlist if there was a military conflict? Do you think Gen Z would be willing to fight for king and country?
Yes, I do. And there was a report in the Telegraph only a few days ago, actually polling Gen Z who are concerned about the threats coming over the horizon. And we can talk about austerity, and absolutely right with Iran and with Iraq and Afghanistan, how that has skewered people's views. Ultimately, you cannot deny that Russia is now a threat to Britain. Every single day we are subject to cyber attacks. Every single day we are subject to IP theft. We are subject to even drone attacks as well. And we're going to see clipping of the undersea cables too. They are trying to cause economic harm, to sow political discord. That's what they're doing today. Russia is at war with Britain, but it's deniable because it's grey zone. So it isn't the army. I make that really clear. It's not the military itself. It's an all-of-society capability of increasing our defence posture. And people are starting to feel it. Whatever happened with the tube breakdown yesterday, whatever happened at Heathrow, these are the sort of vulnerabilities that we need to bolster and protect our society. And so when I call for investment in our defence and security, it isn't specifically the Army, the Air Force, the Navy. It's our capability to look after our society because we are so vulnerable, but more importantly, because threats are growing. And you can argue about internal domestic politics. When threats are growing, it requires all of Britain to lean in, as we've done in the past, hesitantly though at first, to say we're going to stand up and we're going to be firm and we're going to defend Britain. And that's what I'm seeing in the younger generation today.
Fiona, respond.
There is no all of Britain. There's you guys and there's everyone else, right? If Putin is a threat to the working class in Britain, I don't trust Keir Starmer, I don't trust David Lammy, I don't trust the defence companies, I don't trust the billionaires, I don't trust the establishment as people who are going to defend the working class in Britain.
Well,
in
that's
fact,
appeasement.
Keir Starmer's a gangster, Putin's a gangster, and they've got more in common with each other than Keir Starmer has in common with me.
Okay,
you talk
so
about
you're talking
economic harm.
appeasement.
You talk about economic harm and sowing political discord. Keir Starmer is doing that right now. He's doing that every single day. Political discord. He just did an outrageous speech quoting Enoch Powell.
Fiona, I'm so sorry. We're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. But
They
Fiona,
are creating misery. Systemic
Fiona, I'm afraid we will get misery from our producers if we don't bring this to an end. So, Fiona, Tobias, thank you so much for